Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna make a chain. I got a little safety knot on here, so if anything goes bad, that knot's gonna keep the beads from falling off if the customer is wearing it for 10 years. I'm gonna pull that knot as tight as I can, and then I'm gonna cut a little bit of this off so that way it'll be about the right length to put one of these on. Right now, that tail's a little too long. Now, for some reason, if you cut it with a scissor, it frays. But if you cut it with this red magic cutter, I don't know what's happening on a microscopic scale, but somehow it cauterizes it and it keeps it nice and together and it doesn't fray. Then I grab one of these little crimps, I squeeze it down. I call these my MVPs. There's a little cup and a little cup. So just so you can see where I'm putting it, I'm putting the end of the spring at the top, and when I smush it down, I got the top of the coil in that cup, and I got the bottom in that cup. I give it a smush, and then that'll lock it in place. Before I'm done, I center it up. So you're imagining that the black cord is in there. Let me do that again. So I have the end of the spring at, let's say, 11 o'clock if it were a clock. If that's a clock, this is 12 o'clock, that's 6 o'clock, this is 3 o'clock, this is 9 o'clock. I have the end of the spring at around 10 or 11 o'clock in the jaws. I squeeze it down, and there's a stop, so you can't go too far. So when you squeeze it down, it goes all the way to the bottom. Bring it around, center it up. And that's how you'll put these springs on the ends of the necklaces. So let me do that again. It's a lot easier to see when the cord isn't on there. Now I have it situated in such a way where the end of the spring is at 11 o'clock. I'm gonna squish it down. Good, it's nice and locked on. I'm gonna rotate it 180 degrees and do it just a little bit so that way it's centered, okay? So that's one end. You're an 8-inch. So I have my handy little ruler right here, starting at 0. I put the loop beyond the mark, and he's an 8-inch. Whenever you do chains, you take off 1 inch for stuff. So if he's an 8-inch, I take off 1 inch and I go to 7. When it's all done, it'll actually equal an 8. A simple knot where you go through. And again, I'm gonna push, I want that knot as tight as possible that way. I know this is a lot to remember. And I'm gonna pull that knot tight. Let me do that again. Nice and tight. If I cut it with a scissor, it would fray a little bit, and then I would have to cauterize it. But we don't want to do that. You just want to use this, and that'll make it so it doesn't fray.
Okay.
Keep recording. Yeah, this one didn't cauterize because I used the scissors, so I'm going to melt that. It's nylon, so it melts a little bit. There we go, that won't fray now. Let's do that one last clasp. Screw it on. I know this is a lot. So it's kind of like a nut on a, I don't know, nut on a bolt. I got the end of the spring at 11 o'clock. I got it in the cups, smush, turn it around, smush to center. Last but not least, put a clasp on it. Smush it down. And if I've done a good job, that won't come undone. Let's see your wrist.
Oh.